What's up, everybody? It is Alan and Jim from Hustling Sideways. We have a podcast that comes out every other Monday, and we talk about people's side hustles, their passion projects, all sorts of things like that. And we're giving you a bonus again this week. We are talking about some of the things that side hustlers deal with on a regular basis.
All the fun stuff.
Today, we're talking networking.
Networking.
Yes.
Why would we talk about that?
We are talking networking because we're on a social network right
call.
now.
We are. Yes.
And so you can like and subscribe and post and all those things.
The buttons.
There's buttons there. There's probably some down there.
I'm sure there are.
Yeah, for sure. But we were talking about networking because it is, it's essential to
critical.
growing a business.
No doubt.
So I am curious what your strategies are for networking, things that have done well for you, things that haven't gone well for you.
Yep.
So what is the Jim Love hustling
Let me tell you, hustling sideways
networking thing.
No, I think, and really, we wanted to talk about this too because these events are back. And it's been a while since some of you folks have maybe been out and been in an event, etc. So a good refresher and reminder, but also some tips and some funny stories that we can share too.
Yeah.
But, for me, the first thing that I always like to recognize is that everyone feels awkward. At some sort of networking. No one walks in like, I got this. It just doesn't happen. You might be better at than some people, but you're all on the same page. It's always the awkward small talk. It happens every time. So first of all, that's a big part. Second thing I like to do when I approach someone is that I pretend just the way my mind goes that they're the most important person in the room at that time. So sometimes you can go and be thinking about the next thing. Focus on that person. You're going to find find out way more about them than they probably, even thought they're going to share. But you really get to know them, know who they are, and the conversation becomes, very, very dialogue. But really listen. The third thing is I like the rule of three. I'm a big threes guy. Don't feel pressure to talk to everyone.
Yeah.
I think if you walk out of an event or wherever you're at, having met one person but very intimately and deeply, that's a success. You don't have to go around and meet focus on the one person, and if the conversation ends, you move on. But don't worry about going everywhere. And I say that because the first time I went to a networking event, I was in college and I was like a pinball. I tried to go to every single person and there were 80 people there. Yeah. I was so tired. I feel like I met no one. I literally left and I was like, I don't know anyone I met there. And it was a mistake. I realized I needed to focus on one. It was at a Wisconsin club. I was I need to focus on one person. So all those things put together really help me out and help me relax before I walk into something because you're going to be okay. Worst that happens is you have one awkward conversation and you're going to be okay. And that's what happens every time.
And they will happen too.
They will. It's
so
okay. Yeah.
I had no idea what networking was until college, honestly. You know what I mean? I was never, it was a thing that our college, Marquette, kind of encouraged, and I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I didn't know if I was supposed to just give a bunch of people business cards. You know what I mean? When you think networking, or when I thought networking at the time, I thought, kind of uptight business guy, ties up and saying, if there's ever any way that I could increase your bottom line or help your productivity or help you think outside of the box. So I always thought that that's kind of what networking was, and then you handed somebody a card, and then you both felt awkward, and you both went your separate way.
Hand them out like dollar bills.
Card.
I feel that.
Box of them. You can just take the whole box. The whole box.
I'll call you.
Yes. So for me, that's kind of what I always thought networking was. Getting to kind of get a little bit more comfortable in my own skin was very important for me for networking. Being able to communicate and to talk and not just feel awkward was definitely part of it. And I think that's a great point that you make, that everybody feels awkward when they go in network.
Every time
it happens. You know what I mean? So but that's kind of the biggest thing for me, is to just be yourself. Yeah.
It's true. I mean, that's what people want to see. People can tell if you're walking not being yourself. It's pretty evident right away. You need to be comfortable and just chill. Take a breath and talk about the weather. It's okay. You can start like that. That's okay.
Honestly, that is one of the biggest things for me, is that first sentence.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? You can tell how that conversation's going to go by that first sentence alone. So if you have somebody, that you really want to talk to and want to, for me, I'm around people that do projects a lot.
Right.
So I come up to them and I'll say, hey, I really liked this project. I just wanted to let you know, it's a very like warm way to get your name out there and say, hey, I really liked this thing you did. By the way, this is what I do. This is kind of,
That's perfect.
I think that we could work well on something.
Yeah. You know what I say when I walk up to someone? I say heavy penguins.
What?
Heavy penguins.
Heavy penguins.
Yeah, I thought that'd break the ice. What's up? My name's Jim.
This guy. That was great. That was amazing. Yes.
I did steal that joke for the record.
There's two ways you can go about this. Yeah. A very natural one.
Someone professionally, or you could talk about penguins. Whichever
Honestly,
one you prefer.
That one worked. I like that. That was good.
You played right into that, like kind of perfectly. We did not rehearse that.
Yeah, no. That was a really good one.
Like, heavy what? You gave me a look like, what are you doing?
I had no idea where you're going. I thought you were having a stroke, honestly. Yeah, so that's kind of like the big thing. I've definitely been to networking events and things where, you walk up to somebody and you're right next to them, or you're both getting a water or something, and then they just kind of come up to you and say, so what do you do?
Yeah, it's always,
and then just a deadpan stare.
Yeah.
Dead in the water.
Yeah.
That's when that one is not going to go well.
Not gonna happen.
You can turn that around.
Yeah,
for sure.
And you could also leave a conversation too.
Yes.
Like if you could talk, you're like, well, it's really, really nice to meet you. And people, most of the time when a conversation gets like that awkward or that stale, someone's looking for an opportunity to be like, okay, that's good. And that's okay. Like, it was really nice talking to you tonight. And, and like just hope to run into you. Seems great.
Have a smooth in and a smooth out.
Very much
for
so.
sure.
Yeah.
We live in the Midwest.
We do. We're very nice.
And so I call it the Midwest goodbye.
Uh-huh.
Where you say goodbye and 10 minutes later you finally leave.
Oh, right.
Maybe don't do that. Maybe you just kind of you have to really feel the rhythm of the conversation as to when to make your exit point too.
Right.
And like you said, to say something, just compliments and say, hey, well, thanks for giving me some time to talk, and I hope we get to communicate or stay in touch down the line, and you're out of there.
There you go. And another thing is too, if you actually do get business cards at all, what I found is really helpful is to write down a really quick statement about that person.
Really?
So this is Alan, works for Breaking and Entering Milwaukee. And I did that so when I'm reaching out later on, I can recall that conversation again. And I've done that many times, and it makes it very like, imagine someone reach out to you, Alan, so nice to meet you. Breaking and Entering sounds great. Like if I'm in Milwaukee, I'll call you right away. You're like, oh, this person listens.
I should do that.
It's a very quick, easy way to get it like the next step going. So,
I should do that for sure. Okay. Well, that's a good way to do it. Very quickly, I also want to say the other way that you can network is online, obviously. And I get so many LinkedIn messages that are so cookie cutter that sound like the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that
make it personalized.
Have the smooth in and the smooth out. Have a purpose as to why you're reaching out to that. Make it quick and concise. Be informal, make it feel like a DM, and it's fine.
Yeah, that's okay. Slide right in to that.
So there you go. Speaking of, if you want to slide into our DMs as a podcast,
that's the transition.
You can do that. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Hustling Sideways. If you have a side hustle of your own, you can send us an email at hustlingsideways@gmail.com as well. And you can listen to our podcast wherever you get podcasts. We drop new ones with guests every other Monday.
We drop them.
Yes,
just like that.
We drop them. Yes, we do. Every other Monday, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. And Jim?
Keep on hustling. That was at both.